Alrighty, we are here at America's Rockin' Roller Coaster, and I am solo today. I'm gonna do a coaster rankings video. Not exactly a rankings video per se. It's gonna be a favorites because, like, alright, look, the Racer at Kings Island is one of my favorite rides, but I would never rank it top 10, right? So that's the distinction between this. What are my favorite things to go do? And surprise, Steel Vengeance isn't number one. Alright, to start this list off, we have the Cedar Creek Mine Ride, the most outdated, pointless ride in the park. And I don't mean to just bash on it because I understand it's a great ride for young children, but even then, like, there's better rides at other parks too. You think about the Charlie Brown one over at Kings Island, even the wooden one at Kings Island for kids is way better. I mean, just like, look at that pre-drop coming up here. It's not very exciting. It's a mild ride to say the least, and I would be thrilled if they removed it and replaced it with even just another family roller coaster. Something very mild with a short height requirement, because I know a lot of rides here have a big height requirement and we need something with shorter height requirement. So go ahead and replace the Cedar Creek Mine Ride. That one is going to come in at number 14 in the coaster rankings and the favorite rides list. And I know there's more here, but we're just doing the major attractions, guys. I will say the redeeming qualities of this ride, though, are its setting. And again, I mean, imagine a GCI or a wooden coaster here instead of a family coaster that's outdated by years. But I know, that's the enthusiast in me, guys. 14, Cedar Creek Mine Ride. Dead last for me in the coaster rankings. Now, coming in at 13 is Rougarou. Cedar Point has 4 B&Ms in this park, and this is not one of the better ones, let me tell you. We are not fans of Rougarou. Smack your head on the restraints. I was actually a bigger fan of Mantis than I am of Rougarou. Currently, I don't really like the floorless B&M models. Kind of a waste of space if you ask us, but yeah, it's one of the worst rides at Cedar Point. One thing I will say about Rougarou is it has a beautiful setting, especially here in the fall with like the trees in the backdrop. It's almost 100% over water, but you notice there's a trim brake on the drop, which automatically makes this ride not that good. Coming in at number 12 is going to be the Corkscrew. Now, I know you guys probably think I hate arrows, and I have a weird love-hate relationship with them because Magnum is number 2, and then all the other arrows I'm like, eh. And Gemini, I guess I like as well. But Corkscrew is a great ride. It's going to be number 13 on our list, though, just because it's one of the most outdated rides in this wonderful park. I mean, I just spun the camera around and you see better rides off in the distance everywhere. Corkscrew is still a fun one, and I think it's actually open today, so I might go catch a ride on it. All right. Reasons the Corkscrew is so low on my rankings list, though, is simply because of the restraints and the fact that I hit my temples on them back and forth going through all the corkscrews. It's not a fun ride all the time, but check it out, guys. Here we go. That little airtime hill is underrated, just so you know. Everybody overlooks that. It's a great moment. The loops, not so much. On to our next honorable mention is going to be Raptor, which comes in at number 11 for us, just barely missing the top 10. It's a B&M invert, built right around the time I was born, late 90s there. It's a wonderful ride, but it definitely has aged quite a bit in my opinion. It gets to a point where you get a little dizzy at the end. It's a little too intense. Rides like Banshee at Kings Island are much more smoother than this one. And I know some of you guys are probably thinking I'm a little bit crazy here. It's a fantastic ride, and you get to kick the sky. But for me, it's just a little bit too intense. It's not my favorite ride in the park. Definitely something I skip most times I'm here. The next controversial opinion is top 10 Iron Dragon. It's still providing thrills plenty of years later. It's one of, I believe, 5 or 6 remaining in the United States, so, or in operation in total. I mean, they got the Bad at Kings Island that I've ridden, which is a much better ride, but surprisingly, this is going to crack the top 10 just because you get great views on it. You get to go over the creek, and it's right under the Rougarou over there, so it's actually a fantastic ride still. Alrighty, since this video is being made during Dragster's renovations, there's a guy down there who shouldn't be. I'm going to go ahead and give it the number 9 spot previously. I'm excited to see what they can do with it, but they're not really doing much right now. I can't get any off-ride footage of it. You guys let me know below. Was it one of your favorite rides before? Because it definitely was not one of my favorites before. And I'm kind of glad to see that they're going to change it up. Hopefully a layout change. A spike maybe? Call me crazy below in the comments. I know one of my buddies at Beach Cliff Studios is already telling me I'm crazy for thinking that. So, everybody, go ahead and roast me in the comments again for that one. Dragster, number 9 originally. Coming in for our next controversial ranking, Gemini cracking the top 10 at number 8 for me because it is a wonderful old ride. You get to race on it, especially when they're running both trains, which they are currently. And when they're running both trains, there's not much that beats this. First hill drop is awesome. You always lose your stomach. And then when you're coming back and you have the one where it's the head chopper moment on one of them hills, it's one of the best head chopper moments in all of Cedar Point. So I definitely recommend going and getting yourself a ride on Gemini because it is a top tier, old classic hybrid aero coaster. Alright, you guys let us know down in the comments, is Pipe Screen a coaster credit? Alrighty, on to our next controversial one. Coming in at number 7 is the B&M Dive Coaster Valravn. Now, a lot of people think of this as a one-trick pony, but I think of it as guaranteed stomach loss. Every single time you ride it, it's one of the best rides in the park, honestly, if you're just looking to lose your stomach. I know a lot of lines get pretty long, and this one definitely does because it's at the front of the park, but it's coming in at number 7 for me. Next controversial opinion on this coaster rankings list will be that Millennium Force is 6th for me. Now, the reason we have Millennium Force so low is because it's just an outdated Giga. To be honest with you guys, it's great. It has the aesthetic pleasure and it has, you know, all the historical significance and whatnot, but you can call a ride what it is after some point. The floater airtime is non-existent on it, and it really just goes fast and turns left sometimes on some overbanks. It's a great ride, but it's a little bit outdated, and here we go. We got it running past now. That is 6th for me, and probably a very controversial opinion for most of you. So go ahead, roast me in the comments below for this one. I got more for you. I mean, just look at that on a fall day. It looks so cool, and wait till it's lit up at night. It looks wonderful. Still kind of a forceless coaster. Coming up next on the controversial coasters ranking list is going to be Gatekeeper, the best B&M at the park, coming all the way in at number 5. This B&M wing coaster is often called a forceless coaster, but have you guys ever ridden Millennium Forceless? You at least lose your stomach on that drop. Alright, now a lot of people don't like this ride. They call it forceless and this and that. I think it's actually a lot of fun. You lose your stomach every time going through that drop here, and you also lose it going through that loop. A lot of people say it's a forceless roller coaster. I just disagree with that wholeheartedly. It's been hauling this year especially. You can ask our buddies over at Beach Cliff Studios too. They'll tell you this ride has been hauling the whole year. So definitely come out here and get a ride on it. Number 5, controversial. Alright, a little bit of a disclaimer. I said Steel Vengeance was my number 1 favorite ride, and that's actually not true. I've had a change of heart while I'm doing this video at the park today. So I just wanted to let you guys know before you go all the way through it, Steel Vengeance is not the number 1, so be prepared. Alrighty everybody, we are coming up on the no surprise number 1 in the park, Steel Vengeance. Now, This ride is by RMC, originally a Dinwiddie called the Mean Streak back in the day, but it is one of the best rides arguably in the world today. A lot of people say Iron Gwazi as well. Well, we got the trains, but Steel Vengeance is up there for everybody. Alrighty, let us know in the comments, is Steel Vengeance or Iron Gwazi the elite RMC? Or are we going with Cedar? You guys let us know. Does that 1 degree drop make a difference between Iron Gwazi and Steel Vengeance? Now remember, this isn't the best rides in the parks list, it's my favorite rides in the parks list, but it just so happens that they coincide to both be #1 in the park for both videos, because Steel Vengeance is great. For me, it's just an unrelenting ride. Besides the brake run, of course. I don't like that little jerk into the brake run, but it's unrelenting. The pacing, the airtime, there's nothing better than losing your stomach. And Steel Vengeance does it the most out of any coaster in the whole entire world. And as you can see, I mean, look at the lines. They're always flooding away from Steel Vengeance because it's the best ride in the whole entire park and arguably the world. Coming up on #3 at the park for me, we got Maverick off in the distance, an Intamin roller coaster built in 2007. I'm gonna get a little more footage off site here, but yes, this one is coming in at #3. Now, fun fact, it used to have a Heartline roll through there, and another thing is, the trains are supposed to, that was supposed to cross under as another one goes up. That's how it used to be programmed initially when it opened, and the Heartline roll was taken out because it was too intense, they said, and caused too much stress on the tracks. But yes, Maverick is one of my favorite rides of this whole entire park. Top 10 probably in the whole entire world too. It's a great roller coaster. So if you guys are considering coming to Cedar Point, this is a must ride, no matter what. So that was where the Heartline roll would be. And initially that drop, the coaster was supposed to drop as the other one passed underneath it back in the day. But as you can tell, it's a little bit delayed nowadays. Come get yourself some rides on Maverick. And coming in at a controversial #2. This thing is an airtime machine. Don't let anybody fool you. It is not too rough if you guys ride off of the wheels, which is like rows 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, and 17. You will have the best time of your life getting ejected out of your seat the entire time. Now, a lot of people don't like Magnum. I think it's a great ride still. It's not too bumpy. Well, Magnum's stuck on the track. I just got hit with a bird. That's why I cut that video off. It flew right into me. So I was like, what the heck? But yes, it's an old aero coaster. People say it's rough. But on the platform it says you have to be in good health and condition, and it says no elderly riders. So that's what I gotta say to everybody who says it's too rough. Can't ride if you're elderly. Alright, you guys let me know in the comments below, because I know that's a high ranking for #2, so let me know what you guys think. I know it's crazy, but Magnum is a great ride still. So I want to hear from you guys. Roast me below. Leave all the comments about how bad Magnum is, how it bruises your thighs and everything else, because I want to hear it, because I think it's fun. And for the final and most controversial opinion, Blue Streak is my favorite ride in the entire park. Well, my ride op's working, so that's probably why it's my favorite ride. Also the re-rideability of it, and at night you can see all the lights running along the train. So it's one of the best rides in this park. I don't care what anybody says. Ejector airtime on the way there and back. It is a fun ride, and of course me personally, I have a little personal attachment to it. I'm about to hit 100 on it in this season, and of course I got a major little crush on the ride. So, shh.